Hello everybody, I'd like to share another junk journal that I just finished. This one is a little departure from what I've been doing for the last 2 years. I saw a video and I apologized right off. I looked through my saved videos and can't find the name of the lady whose video I watched. It's been within, say, the last 6 months, but what she had done is just take a stack of 10 or 12 sheets of coffee dyed paper and work those into a journal that she stitched down the center of the signature on the sewing machine and put it together that way. And it was very little in the way of decoration or anything. The idea was just simplicity. And I decided I wanted to take a stab at that. And I ended up with this, which I absolutely love this journal. Obviously, I got away from the simplicity concept at least a little bit, but compared to what I've been doing, this is still very simple. And I've taken, I think there's about 12 sheets and a few extra things like paper bags in here, but it is all coffee dye papers. And I've layered onto one sheet of coffee dye paper, and this is I can't remember, like 30-pound paper. It's a little heavier than the average copy paper. It's what I use for my journals because I think it holds up a little bit better. But I've layered various papers here and done some stitching. Got some cheesecloth and some crocheted trim, the word kindness, and a little piece of bling, which I don't normally do. And I've reinforced the spine with about 1.5 inches wide strip of extra coffee dyed paper. And to the signature ties, added a couple vintage buttons and an old key. And if we take a look inside, I really did try to keep it simple, but it just wasn't happening. So where I had stitched onto the front cover, I was left with these squares and ended up putting some printed papers there and some definitions. And here you can see some of the coffee dyed papers. Here I layered some papers. This one was run through the embosser. This is notebook paper that was coffee dyed and placed on a pizza pan with those big circles on it. And the idea behind this for myself was something that a person could freely journal on, free to add ephemera, personal photographs, magazine clippings, whatever, or to do some drawing. You could paint on some pages, whatever, a little more creative. And here I've torn a strip of coffee dyed paper that had a little more contrast. It was slightly different than this one. And I stitched on it and added that to the edging, and I really like that effect. And here just layered some paper and some washi tape, a butterfly. And on this page, added a digital, layered it up and added washi on the corners. Folded this into a paper bag, or there was a paper bag trim right here, and folded it into a pocket that was stitched. And this is a printed paper bag. I love the colors on that. I tried to keep the colors a little bit subdued. You're going to see a page here coming up that is not subdued, but I did try to maintain, at least did try, give me credit for trying to maintain some continuity through it. Anyway, I've got a digital print here with the bee and the colors match, and I've got a recycled card, goes in the bag, some coffee dyed paper. This was a different attempt for me too, was to piece together a page. So I started with a base of coffee dyed paper and then added some scrapbooking paper, and I love this little corner scrap of trim. I think I got a torn dresser scarf or something from a secondhand store, and that was left of that. And so tried to work some of the softer colors in here into a snippet with some layers of fabric that I was recently gifted in a swap and the edge of a dresser scarf. Stitched that together, and you could tuck something under there. This is from a fairly heavy paper bag, and I've layered papers and a piece of fabric here and made a pocket. And I used on this page bobbin thread on the back is green, and a peach coral color here on the front to match the digital. And I came over here, and this is where I got very bold. I selected this image from a butterfly book and chose the red thread. And the image itself was on paper that was a little bit fragile. So I layered it on another piece with a darker tone for contrast, another piece of the coffee dyed paper, and then onto the coffee dyed page. And used embroidery floss to hand stitch around, tied it in a bow, and that is the center of the signature. And flip that over, and you're left with this lovely frame from the stitching. And you can journal in that or around the edges, or do some sketching, or add a focal point of your own in there. A lot of possibility there. This is the back page of the paper bag, and I've stamped and added some coffee dye paper and book page. And here, stitched to make a pocket, stamped some butterflies. Love this. This was, I guess, a happy accident, if there are such things. I had, forget you saw this, taken these two pages and placed them together and stenciled this pretty design. And separately later worked on this group of layered papers and fabric, and accidentally, if you want to think that, dropped this on top of this. Thought these colors just really go together, and I love that page. Here on this page, I've taken another strip of torn coffee dye paper, edged it with ink, and then ruffled some scrapbook papers, 2 or 3 different types, and some cheesecloth. And I love the texture and the colors along the edge. And here we have that pieced together page. And you could continue to build on this and add additional papers. This is the paper bag, and it can be used as a page as is, or the bottom section snipped off and use it for a pocket. And on this pocket, I've stitched some lace that's coffee dyed, and this is from a greeting card. Just stuck that in there. I didn't want to fill the pockets or anything just yet. And here I've taken another piece of coffee dyed pizza pan paper, folded it in half, and placed it over the edge of the paper, so that I ended up with a pocket on both sides. And on this side, I brought it down at an angle and layered some scraps of paper, music paper, and I had this scrap from another dresser scarf. And again, I used the corner. I liked the corner of the page. And I tried to line this up along the edge so that it overhung a little bit here and gave you some pattern on this side. So here we have a pocket. And I love this envelope. The lady named Joey, I'll put a link to her page, or to her YouTube channel if I can remember, but from her I learned to take glossy book or magazine photos and cut and glue those into envelopes, which I did here, and then collage. And I added the collage paper here and some on here and the word nurture, and did some stamping. But the nice thing about these that are the envelopes and embellishments that are held on with the clips is that they can be placed anywhere throughout the journal. And I have this one right here. And we come to the very back page. This is the back. Inside, I've added this printable, some washi tape butterflies, a little bit of cheesecloth, and I fussy cut a butterfly here. And like I said, I love the relative simplicity of this one, the textures. I've got a lot of lace and edging and folded papers. So I really enjoyed this process. I hope to do some more of this. I'm going to have to get busy and coffee dye some papers. So hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.